there and welcome to this special edition of In the Labs with me, Becky. Now in this video I'm going to show you a technique which we call stacked text to create this stacked Merry Christmas sign. So let's have a look in the software how we made this.
So I used VCarve to design this project, however the file can be opened in both Aspire and Cut2D products. Okay, so let's go and open the Merry Christmas stacktext.crv file. So the job dimensions that I'm working with is 18 by 6 inches and the material thickness that I'm intending to cut into is 0.73 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through how I designed the file. Okay, so if we take a look at our layers bar, you can see I've got various layers. So we've got this border layer, if we just double click on that. This outer vector was drawn using the rectangle tool, and this basically represents the outline of our part. We've got another vector on the inside that represents the border of our sign, and this is just basically we're going to machine everything in between this vector here and then the text that you can see on the screen along with the holly shapes. Then we've got the word Merry on its own layer. Now if I double click on the page symbol, it will highlight all the vectors on that layer. So here's the Merry, so we've got a nice cursive font there. And then for Christmas and holly, if we double click on that page, you can see that the holly is selected either side. And we've got the word Christmas. It's rather bold, rather big, and that will sit in the background. So the idea is Merry will be the highest text, Christmas and holly will go a little bit further down so it looks as though it's in the background. Now when we are creating stacked text, what we need to do is we need to take both of the words, so Merry and Christmas in our case, and I'm actually going to put the holly with it as well, and we're going to take all of those vectors, and what I did was I copied them to a layer. Okay, so we've got a layer here called welding, and if I click that on, you can see we've got the vectors there. So there's our holly, and then we've got the words Christmas and Merry, and they're actually all welded together using the welding tool. And you'll see why I've done that when we get to the toolpaths. Okay, I also have a layer here called holly, just so you can see how I created the holly, in which case I basically just welded everything together to create the shapes that you've seen just. Right then, so let's have a look at the toolpath. So we're going to put the border layer on, and we're just going to switch the word Merry on. So this is the first toolpath we're going to be looking at, is cutting out the Merry text. So I started by using the pocket toolpath, which is this icon here, and I've already created these toolpaths. I'm just going to double click to go in there. So machining everything in between the word Merry and the border, and we're cutting down 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use two tools to clear this out. One larger tool just to clear the majority of it out, and then we're going to go back in with a smaller tool to clear out all of the areas that that larger tool couldn't get to. So 1/2 inch and a 0.115 tool there. Okay, and then if we close out, we can see the result of that if we just tile our windows. So using the larger tool, we're going to get this result, like so. And then using the smaller tool, I'm just going to go in at all the detail to cut the word Merry out. Perfect. Right, and next up we went back into the pocket toolpath, however this time we actually switched off the Merry layer and we're going to use the welding layer this time. And if we double click into that pocket toolpath, you can see it's picked up that welded text along with the holly, and we've got that border. I've already cut away 1/4 of an inch, so we're going to put our start depth at 1/4 of an inch as well, and cut down a further 1/4 of an inch using the same tools again. If we go ahead and calculate that, and then we could see what that looks like. So if we just preview that toolpath, so there's the larger tool, then we've got the smaller tool. That's just going to clear everything away, so we're left with the Merry Christmas with the holly in the background, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to do a profile cutout. So here just got some tabs in place to hold my part in, using just shy of a 1/4 inch end mill tool, cutting all the way through. And then if we go ahead and preview that toolpath, we can see how that looks. Okay, so at this stage we can go over to the labs to machine that up. And you can see that this technique is pretty easy. There are other tutorials available on this. If you'd like to have a look at those, just head over to our YouTube channel. Okay, so we're in the labs and the first toolpath we're running is the pocket toolpath using that 1/2 inch tool. So we can see that the tool has cleared down the majority of the material to 1/4 inch. And so now we're going to go and clean up the merry text using a smaller tool. So that's the merry text done now, and we're going to change back to the larger tool where we're going to zero off the surface and then run the second pocket clearance toolpath to cut the word Christmas out. So now you can kind of see the word Christmas coming through, so we're going to have a tool change back to that smaller tool to clear out all the areas that the large tool couldn't get to reveal the Christmas and the holly underneath the word merry. Okay, so the last toolpath now is just a profile pass to cut the sign out. So once I'd detabbed everything, it's time to clean up the sign. So I sanded around the outer edge of our sign to remove evidence of the tabs, and then going into the text using a variety of tools, from a wire brush to sanding paper, just to clear out all the fuzzies that have been left on around the text. We're just really just cleaning that up, ready for finishing. And so to finish, I'm just using mineral oil and brushing that in, working it through the sign, getting in between all areas of the text, just to really bring that grain out and just give it a little bit of a shine.
Okay, so here is the finished stacked Merry Christmas sign. Now, if you fancy having a go at creating your own version of this sign, then simply head over to your VCarve account, or you can download the project files from there. And if you do end up creating your own version, then please share that with us across our social media channels or on the Vectric forum. We'd love to see what you're making. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, then please hit the subscribe button for instant updates on the latest videos that we'll be releasing. Thank you for watching, happy making, and Merry Christmas!